Back on Access, we've shown this graphic before, but it's getting closer to becoming a reality. The similarities between the 2020 Lakers and 2009 Lakers title team are very similar, dating back to round 2, defeating the Rockets, both in 2009 and 2020 in the second round. Conference finals, of course, both defeated the Nuggets. Won an NBA championship against Orlando in 2009 in Orlando. An NBA championship being played here in 2020 in Orlando. Again, Kobe Bryant won his 4th ring in 2009. LeBron James chasing his 4th ring.
Great stuff.
Here in 2020. After helping the Lakers advance to the finals, LeBron James spoke about continuing to honor the life and legacy of Kobe Bryant.
Every time you put on purple and gold, you think about his legacy, you think about him and what he meant to this franchise for 20 plus years. And what he stood for, both on the floor and off the floor. What he demanded out of his teammates, what he demanded out of himself. We have some similarities in that sense. Our games are different. But as far as our mindset and our drive to want to be the best and our drive to not lose or even, if the score, sometimes you're going to lose games, but just that drive to always want to be, victorious, it stops you from sleeping. And sometimes you put certain things, you sacrifice a lot of things, you sacrifice your family at times because you're so driven to be, so great that other things fall by the wayside at times. So I understand that. I'm one of the few that can understand the mindset that he played with and the journey from high school to the NBA. It's just a thing that that I carry with me. Like I said, every time I decide at one point in that locker room before the game when I throw that jersey on.
Chilling. Lakers Heat Game 1 is set for Wednesday. We know that. But first, we want to look back at the top plays from the Purple and Gold versus the Heat this season, and it feels like it was forever ago. So, the NBA Finals are set with Game 1 tipping off on Wednesday. Lakers took out the Blazers, Rockets, and Nuggets on their way to the finals, while the Heat knocked off the Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Boston Celtics. Now for more, Lakers GM Rob Pelinka joined Alan Sliwa on ESPN LA 710 and discussed the impact LeBron and AD have had for the Lakers in the bubble environment.
It's going to always be more just because of his transcendent leadership. And I think, the bubble environment has even brought that out more because there's really not much here other than basketball, especially at the beginning parts where there was no family. Just the way he attacks the game, gets prepared physically, mentally, and just the way he sees the game. I think our team has really rallied around that. And I would say the same about Anthony Davis as a leader. He may be more quiet and maybe less active on social media channels, but someone said to me once, quiet waters run deep. And, that's AD in terms of there's just such a depth of understanding to the game. He's a 6'11" guard. He's got incredible footwork, the ability to find guys when they double team him, of course, protect the rim and rebound. And his leadership has been great, too. So both players have been beyond our wildest expectations.
All right, diving back into this series, the matchup to watch in your series X Factor. We're going to start first with the matchup to watch. BK, I like this one because they're not wearing uniforms. You're going Eric Spoelstra versus Frank Vogel.
I am, because, so much attention is going to be paid to Bam and, Jimmy Butler and LeBron and Bam and AD and all that. I'm fascinated by the coaching matchup here because I think at this point, a lot of people might argue that Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA. Maybe it's Nick Nurse, maybe it's still Pop, whatever it is, but Spo is right in that conversation. And Frank Vogel's impact on this team, the way he's guided the Lakers through the year, the way he's been able to create the kind of flexibility you've seen in their lineups by doing all the stuff he did in the regular season and cultivating that flexibility, he's done a spectacular job with the Lakers group this year. They both have similar starts as video coordinators. Neither one of them played professionally in the NBA. There's a lot of similarities here. And I see this kind of back and forth X's and O's matchup where the adjustments come as one of the most obviously important, but also interesting aspects of the series.
And back over a handful of years ago, they met in the conference finals when Frank was, of course, with the Indiana Pacers. Brez, your matchup to watch only consists of the Lakers.
Yeah, kind of in a Ron Burgundy tone, the Lakers versus themselves. I mean, I've been really impressed by what the Lakers have done. Okay, in the second round, Clippers eliminated, and also the Bucks. All right, so 2 of the 3 massive favorites gone. Lakers probably needed a day to adjust to that. The much anticipated West Finals between the 2 LA teams vaporizing, but you know what? They turned it around really quickly. Got their eyes on the prize, and they pretty much handled the Denver Nuggets. There was that one weird game where they kind of got out-rebounded. Other than that, they looked really strong in just about every facet. AD, the big winner there, he will not forget some of these things that he has done in that last round in particular. So as long as they just kind of manage expectations, they're massive favorites, against a pretty unexpected team in the finals. They got to just keep their composure. They can't freak out. Your
matchups to watch, no big deal. I love it. Let's move on to your X Factor, BK, your X Factor here in the finals.
Oh, for me, I'm looking at with the Lakers, I'm looking at Rajon Rondo, because one thing that the Miami Heat do really well, they switch on a lot of stuff, they zone up really well, and they play good defense. That's actually, I guess, 3 things. But yeah, anyway,
it's good.
The Lakers, when Rondo plays well, have a different dynamic, and it gives them other options for creating offense, particularly in a half court, particularly in transition, that expand their ability to score. And we've seen when the Lakers get bogged down, it's because they get mucky in the half court. They can't figure out where to get a good shot and all that. And if you allow Eric Spoelstra and a good defensive team to load up on LeBron as the sole playmaker for the Lakers, I think you could run into a little bit of trouble there. When Rondo has been good, he opens up the floor for the Lakers. Plus, he's shooting 44% from 3, which is better than anybody on the team. So they need his shooting, and they need him to move the ball around.
His IQ, because as you just described as why Eric Spoelstra is so prominent in this league, you have to have someone that can go up against that. And Rajon Rondo provides that from an IQ standpoint as well. Brez, for you, your Lakers X Factor is?
KCP, been talking about him a lot ever since the team returned to the bubble. Gonna do it one last time. To me, he's the guy. If you go back to his seeding games, not very strong for KCP. Not very good in the playoff opener way back when. 0 for 9, his worst shooting night ever in his 7-year career. Ever since then, though, Allie, he's been really, really strong for this team, shooting almost 50% from three-point range if you discard and throw out that first game against Portland. I like we did that last series. A little bit quiet in the final game with only 2 points, but a steady 13, 14 points seemingly every game other than that. He's got to be the guy. He's got to bust Miami's zone. That zone defense has really caused trouble for teams so far throughout the playoffs. So KCP's got to be a zone buster with a couple of their Laker perimeter guys.
Bust that zone.
You got to make it happen.
Not where I thought you were going. Well played. Coming up on Access, we'll hear what Jimmy Buckets had to say. Lakers face off in the NBA Finals. Here's a look at the playoff averages for both leading men. You see Butler averaging about 21 points, 6 boards, 5 assists. LeBron James, 27, 10, and 9. Jimmy Butler knows it's all about beating LeBron if you want to win the NBA championship.
The main key, and it's been like this for a very long time, if you want to win, you're going to have to go through a LeBron James-led team. At the end of the day, that's what it normally comes down to. And that's what we got to focus in on. Obviously, you can't just focus in on him because he has so many really good players around him. But you're going to get the same test over and over again until you pass it. And that test is LeBron James.
So, of course, LeBron back in the finals, chasing that 4th ring, season 17. BK embracing that challenge, all the while the challenge of helping to lead the Lake Show back to the top. What have you been impressed with so far as it comes to this postseason run for LeBron?
Oh, I mean, all of it. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, you saw what happened in the 4th quarter of Game 5 against Denver in terms of LeBron deciding that there would not be a Game 6. He talked about it afterwards, like, I am as desperate to get out of a series as another team is to stay in it. That is 17 years of understanding what it means. 9 out of the last 10 finals now. That's all the understanding that comes from this experience and knowing how valuable every minute off the court can be. It just, the precision with which he plays, the drive with which he plays, his ability to help Anthony Davis get to this place where he has been so tremendous throughout the playoffs, to lead his team under these circumstances. This is for a guy who's had this many moments in the finals and so many rings and all that. I don't think it's overstating it to say, even with that win against Golden State, this could go down as his most impressive title if the Lakers can get it.
That's very well said.
Yeah, that's strong. That's strong. I mean, the thing I like about LeBron, if you look at the big picture, I mean, this is his second year at the Laker franchise. I mean, it's still, presumably so new for him. I mean, it's a quick turnaround for him. I like how he took this job, so to speak, with no one really on the team except a bunch of young, unproven players almost 2 years ago. Obviously, getting AD about a year ago, that kind of helped things along a little bit. But I think that the thing about him in these playoffs, he's done it so many different ways. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, he closed out Denver with a ton of mid-range points in that fourth quarter where he was just going off with 16 points. Closeout game against Houston, I think he had 4 threes, so he kind of stuck it to them from deep. And, just doing so many different things, whether it's attacking the basket or flinging that ball 80 feet to a wide open AD as he's getting down there for an easy deuce. Just so many ways he has punctured so many different teams. Can't forget LeBron's defense either. It's been top-notch in the playoffs.
You guys just both did a great job of breaking down the challenge in itself that he has managed and handled so far. But just another element to add to this, again, as he's chasing his 4th ring, I think it's been such an awesome story, BK, because he's now going to have to do that up against the team that he learned how to win his 1st ring with.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of circle of life going on in this series. When you put it all together.
I want to sing the song.
Don't let this stop you. What he has managed to accomplish in terms of again keeping this group together, with the subplots now with Pat Riley in there, and that breakup didn't go really well, with Riley kind of questioning LeBron's manhood for wanting to leave and go somewhere else. And even Riley kind of admitted afterwards he might have misplayed that. So there is a little bit of that there. I can't imagine how intense it would have been, guys, though, if he hadn't gone back to Cleveland in between. Like if this was late, Miami and then straight to the Lakers, it would be bonkers right now. But even then, there's still an element of that kind of, who wants a little bit of revenge here? Does anybody want revenge? Right. Is that part of this story? I'm not sure.
I just want to dive into the other story that has been developing, because how great LeBron has been. How about the stepbrothers, Brennan and Dale? Because they're going to have to be just as great here in the finals. But I like the story that is coming out of this with AD
I'm picturing
and
these guys right now in the bubble. They got their little twin beds. They're kind of sleeping in the same room, putting together a little prestige worldwide. I mean, whatever it takes to keep doing this thing. I mean, it's been fun to watch. And it looked good on paper last year when they got Anthony Davis, all right? You have one of the best rebounder shot blockers of the last 7 or 8 years in Anthony Davis. And you couple him with a guy who does his own damage in the paint, but can also pass, hit some deep threes like that one, and is obviously a proven winner. Unlike AD, who, if you just go by the book, he'd only been to the second round a couple times in his career. Doesn't look like it right now. AD looks like a grizzled vet out there. He looks very calm and cool, and LeBron is definitely helping him along that path.
Let's tease fill in the blank again. Brownie points for whoever can fill in the blank. I'm Brennan. I'm Dale, but you have to call me Dragon.
And you have to call me...
Probably...
Nighthawk. You have to call me Nighthawk.
Oh, well done. This
You
is
two are
probably
not
the
the
time where I
stepbrothers.
point out I have never actually
BK.
seen that movie. Never seen it.
Oh,
I know.
And as much as I want to
know.
bury you for that, I can't, because I've only seen it once, and it's probably last week.
Allie, I think you've only seen like 3 movies in your life.
I know, right? Moving on. LeBron, career in the finals. Guys, let's check out these numbers. They're pretty impressive. 49 games, which is 7th. Points, 2nd all-time. Field goals made, 3rd all-time. 3-point field goals made, 2nd. 5th in rebounds. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
While LeBron has proven to be a playoff performer, having just checked out those dominating stats, Anthony Davis is well into his first taste, all the while doing it with the Lake Show. So before we put last series like moment the Brow had in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals versus the Nuggets.
This is a second half team, right? We say over and over again, this is a second half team that we come out with more energy than they do in the 3rd quarter.
Despite head coach Frank Vogel's warning, the Lakers would not be able to prevent a second-half Denver surge.
Dozier down low to Jokic. Caruso single covering Jokic. Now they get it out to Murray by himself at the three-point line, and he buries it easily. 4-point game. Denver can retake the lead for the first time since it was 12-10 if they score here. Murray dribbling, goes right down Main Street, lays it up, in, and Denver has the lead.
Well done around AD's defense. Tough shot. Look, they're a second-half team. This is not supposed to be easy. We got to work harder on the defensive end. We got to get out of scramble situations, handle their run, make our move.
Late in the fourth quarter, with the outcome in the balance, both teams would lean on their superstars, resulting in a playoff duel for the ages.
1:10 remaining. Lakers lead by 4. Murray to Jokic, three-pointer by Jokic. Huge shot by Nikola Jokic. It's a 1-point game. Wow. Lakers 100, Denver 99. Now Murray with 5 to shoot. Murray behind his back, 2 to shoot, 1 to shoot. KCP partially blocks it, and they tip it in. Jokic tipped the shot in out of the air, and Denver leads 101-100. Here comes Anthony Davis down the middle, scores. Lakers 102, Denver 101. Timeout, Denver. 26 seconds left. Ball into Jokic. Being guarded by Anthony Davis. He dribbles to the middle of the paint. Throws it up over AD and scores. Denver 103, Lakers 102.
Trailing with only 2.1 seconds remaining and looking for a last-minute miracle, the ball would end up in the hands of their talented big man.
All right, let's see what the Lakers come up with. Rondo to inbound it, 2.1 to go. Here we go for the game. Denver 103, Lakers 102. Rondo brings in Anthony Davis, 3 for the win. He got it! No time on the clock. It's over. Anthony Davis hits a 3. The Lakers win it. And the Lakers lead the Western Conference Finals 2-0.
People talking about never been in this moment. Pressure. Am I ready for it? I want to take those shots. If you're going to live with me, die with me shooting the last, game-winning shots, and I made it. This is what they brought me here for. I made big-time plays, and now we got 2 more.
Understanding
And while donning their Mamba jerseys, AD would give a shout out to the Mamba himself.
Hey Anthony, after you hit the shot, it looked like on the video that you mouthed Kobe.
I did. Obviously wearing the jerseys. He's hit countless shots like that, to win games, regular season playoffs, finals. To do something like that, in the jersey we wore tonight, it just makes it even more special. So I got you, bro. Got your back and you got mine, man.
Say no more. I got your back.
I let him score, hell of a player. I let him get to his right. I was upset. Couldn't lose like that. We ran a great out of bounds play, just like Coach drilled up. Ron decoy. And then they brought me over here to help win the championship, and I'm just doing my part.
That was nothing but a good old-fashioned Western Conference playoff slugfest. For sure. Yeah, slugfest, culminating in what you can only call a Mamba shot. That was Mamba right there. Yeah, Mamba mentality. Big-time shot, AD. Look, we still got work to do. This is a really good basketball team. Let's keep our head down, focused on the work, one step at a time. Yeah, let's get to the next one. Here we go.